Welcome back. I'm Wavepunk, and this is day 41 of producing for a year. We're back in our Psytrance epic finale track of the boss fight EP we've been working on since the beginning of the channel. Today I started with listening through the section we're working on, trying to hear what was missing, and the idea of these kind of downward arpeggios and almost like a Mario sound effect was hitting my ear, so we tried to build those. I decided to use the arpeggio sound from the very beginning of the track. It's very wet, it's got a lot of reverb on it, and see if I can make that sound work in this space. The notes I chose at the beginning sounded pretty good. But when you put it with the reverb, I've got this arpeggio at kind of the end of each chord, which means that the reverb kind of tail that comes after this is going to be echoing kind of the wrong chord. I do like that sound, that washy sound of the reverb, but I don't want it echoing while a different chord is in the rest of the piece. I want it all to kind of mesh together well. So I moved the notes to the beginning of each chord rather than happening at the end, and had the idea of, well, what if I made them all shorter and had them happen twice as fast and did it 2 times? So instead of just going pew, it goes pew pew. Now we're starting to really sound like a Mario sound effect. This starts to sound almost like going down a tunnel or something, and I do like that sound. I added new notes to the beginning of each chord change. I don't know why I'd never thought to do this before, but I just started holding down the chord I wanted to build in the sweep on the keyboard in front of me, and it lit up the dots in the piano roll section, so it was really easy to see, oh, I just put MIDI here, 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 and here. Very, very intuitive. Kind of surprised I'd never thought to do that before. Glad to have figured out that now. So with that, and with everything else, the chord sounded like this. I'm adding this note in here. I'm just putting in an empty MIDI section and then putting text on it to remind me to come back and do this later. I want to experiment with using 2 different reverbs in this section. The notes hang in the air for a really long time and stay really healthy through kind of the entire duration of this, and I think it's great. The problem is, it just starts to get muddy pretty quickly. It's a cool chord hanging in the air. Now you've got both chords, especially here. The main chord that you're hearing is the most recent one, that's good, but the previous chord is really hanging in the air too, and it will definitely create more noise than I want it to. I think if I move the reverb onto a bus and then duplicate it onto a second bus, I can then have the send be turned up for the first chord, and it sends that chord to one reverb and it plays like normal. And then when I get to the second reverb, I can turn down that bus in the mix and have this one send to a second reverb that is fresh and clean. So basically, this chord and this chord would hit the same reverb. This chord and this chord would hit the same reverb. And I guess another chord over here would hit the same one as this one. So maybe I need a third one there. But for now, this will work. That feels like a mixing thing to do to like make it better, to like fidget. And right now, I think that that's maybe too granular of a thing while we're still kind of getting this track built musically. All right, cool. The chords are fine for now, but I wasn't quite sure what to do with the last one. I wanted to kind of do something different, and my brain started to think about the lack of melody. We still do not have a like thing for our ear to hold on to grip onto as we're going through this section. And I started thinking, what instrument that is currently in our arrangement could we use for that? And the stabby synths that are the melody at the beginning, right after the drop, we haven't heard those for a while. We've been through a few sections without them now. So maybe it's time to bring those back. And after a decent amount of tinkering, I found this kind of lilting grouping of 3 pattern that had a nice flair to it.
This worked well with the other kind of arpeggios we had going on, but I'm still kind of having this thing where I like this big, long, extended 5-chord dominant chord, the actual full climax of the entire EP. Do I just keep looping this same idea on top of this section? I didn't know what to do here, and then it hit me, wow, what about that first thing, the very first sound we hear in the stabby synths? What if I just took that and put that on top of this 5-chord? I think it would work. And then just take those notes that are building up, dun, 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 and have them just keep going. Bah, 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 bah. It's kind of perfect. I kind of love it.
I'm actually thinking I might need to extend this section by like 2 more measures. I love this idea of repurposing the first thing we heard these stabby synths do, and the way they build up. We've already doubled the length that we're hanging on the chord. Your ear hears it and goes, okay, we didn't change on the spot. I thought we were gonna change on. We're really hanging here for a second. So we're gonna change on this spot. Oh wait, it wasn't quite this spot. Where is it? And then like a hits, like to really sink it home. I think it could really work, but I think extending that is gonna be a thing for tomorrow. Section is starting to shape up. I do like this as kind of a melodic idea that we can use. We can put some other things on. Dun, da, 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 dun, 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 dun. We can put something else on top of that to kind of like emphasize that line. The stabby synth is really kind of like almost becoming a choir at this point. I don't have any good choir packs, and I would love, this is exactly where I would put choir, but choir is also a very, like strings, like I just, put down the notes and it's everything. It takes up the entire sonic spectrum, unless you're carving it out. So which I'd probably end up having to do. I don't know. Anyways, enough for today. We're making good progress. This track's going somewhere. I'm excited about it. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.